Hey, it's Kevin Lawton with the New Warehouse podcast here at MODEX 2022, and I am in the booth with Dirk Seis from Ideal Warehouse Innovations, and he is the Director of Marketing over there. We've had Dirk on the show previously. I think last time was 2 years ago, the last time we were in person doing everything. So it's good to be back, and it's crazy to think that it's been 2 years, actually, which is a little wild. So Dirk, welcome to the booth, welcome to the show. How are you? How have you been?
Oh, great. You know, it is amazing to be back here after, what was it, the last trade show on Earth they called MODEX 2020?
Yeah.
So, no, it's good. Lots of people here, lots of activity at our booth. Good to see some smiling faces, and we're doing a lot of good stuff here.
All right, great, and it's good to have you back. So you're with Ideal Warehouse Innovations. We talked to you last time, but why don't you give us a little overview of what it is that you guys do? What do you offer?
Sure. I mean, primarily we're into the loading dock safety accessories world and the warehouse safety accessories. So pretty much anything to make those spaces safer for individuals to work in.
Right.
And in that space, we manufacture our own line of dock bumpers. So for the loading dock, and we go from tire to dock bumper in that operation. Mm-hmm. And we also carry a complete line of trailer collapse prevention devices, and one of the devices that we're adding is a brand new one this year.
Right.
And then we've got about 1,000 other SKUs for different purposes, but all to really protect your people, which is our tagline.
Definitely, and protecting the people, obviously, we know is a huge thing, especially on the podcast. We have safety tip before every episode, so it's definitely a huge thing for us. So doing good service here. Now, the dock area is certainly like a dangerous area, it can be, with a lot of truck movement, reduced visibility for truck drivers and things of that nature. So you mentioned a new product that you're unveiling here that has to do with that, which is the ground-mounted trailer stand, right?
Yeah.
So talk to us about that, and what is it exactly, and how does it help?
Great, thank you. You know, customers a few years ago came to us and they said, you know, there's a real risk in the yard where there's a person that's walking around there that's placing a manual trailer stand in place to prevent an accident from happening.
Yeah.
So trailer collapse prevention.
Right.
And they came to us and they said, you know, we've actually had accidents and deaths as a result of a trailer hitting a person that was wandering around in the yard.
Yeah.
And so we took it upon ourselves to say, what's a better way to prevent trailer collapse but yet keep the people out of the yard? So one of the inventions that we're previewing here at MODEX is the ground-mounted trailer support, which is, it's basically a speed bump that is anchored into the ground of the loading dock approach. The trailer drives over it, and then two arms swing up at 90 degrees to support the trailer underneath.
Really?
And it can be part of an automated dock system. This is a great thing to keep people off the tarmac, but what we also realized is there's a massive ROI benefit to it in the amount of time it takes for a person to place a trailer stand, then go back to what they're doing. That is all erased with this operation, this automated operation. So it's a pretty exciting product for us.
Yeah, very interesting. So now it does this automated, and so you said it's like a speed bump. So basically the trailer backs over it, and then once it's clear, then how does it get triggered to the automation to begin the arms to come up?
Great question. Number of ways. I mean, typical way is a push button inside the facility. So the dock worker or the dock attendant or the forklift driver says, all right, we're ready to go. Let's push the button and it goes. Or it can be part of an automated dock sequence. And I mean, that's the way of the future anyhow.
Yeah, definitely. And I think, it's interesting because we think about automation, and typically, we're thinking about robots running around and all this different stuff, right? But there's all kinds of other things around the warehouse, in and out that we can automate too. And I think this is it's a really smart idea. And even the reduction in the time, like you talked about, I mean, you do lose a lot of time because you got somebody, they go out and, maybe they're looking for a specific trailer, and then maybe, a driver comes by, asks them a question until they get stopped. So you essentially take them out of all of those scenarios, and they're able to trigger it themselves from within the facility, as you mentioned. Now, what about installing this? So how does that look like? It just bolts into the concrete or the pavement that's there? Okay. All right. And then is there, I guess there's some wiring or something?
Yeah, so there's an electrical channel that goes back to the building, and that houses all the electronics.
Very interesting stuff. And so I guess it's pretty simple to put in, and whether you're doing a new building or an existing building as well, correct?
Correct, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Very interesting stuff. And obviously a lot of the focus, I think, and we talked about the last time, it was around the dock area and keeping people and protecting people, I'll say, since that's what you guys say, right? I'll use the same word. So you're protecting people around that dock area, but you want to protect people throughout the facility. And I think something that, we mentioned it's been 2 years, and obviously the reason for the 2 years, I mean, we all know it, right, is because of the COVID, right? And so in protecting people now, something that's kind of come into play that maybe we didn't really think about previously was air quality, right? And we have, this thing that can be potentially airborne. People get it. We're concerned about the air quality, and if you're in a warehouse, you're in a closed space, right? So this new product that you've come out is a new product line. I think is an air quality control product. So talk to us a little bit about, I guess, first, how did the idea to expand into this type of product come about for you guys, and what is the offering itself?
Right, great, thanks. Air quality, you nailed it. There's not only are there viruses floating around in the air, but there's dust, there's pollen, there's other sicknesses that are out there, and all of these things are being inhaled by the people that are in our facilities. Yeah. And so cleaning the air is such a vital thing for overall health, and frankly, that's a good business move as well. Mm-hmm. And we saw that as an opportunity to go out and extend our protecting your people out into the warehouse, into the office, into the other areas of facilities, and figure out ways to clean the air. So we've partnered with a firm to create a good line of air quality control products, and which are basically really great air filters. So they are doing, now I'll talk mainly about Atomik Air because we're in the industrial warehousing space here. Atomik Air moves, I think it's about 1 million cubic feet of air per hour, which that's a lot of air.
Okay.
And it filters that air. Yeah. What's exciting about it too, though, is you may be familiar with the high volume, low speed fans that have been installed in facilities to help move the air and de-stratify the air, such that it creates energy savings. The Atomik Air, because it brings air through the bottom of the filtering system and then shoots it out through the top, actually creates a lot of that de-stratification as well. So the bonus is you get the de-stratification, but you get clean, filtered air. Okay. And that, and it's constantly regenerating. Small little thing is the filters that we use are MERV 13, and they're completely washable, so they're all reusable.
Oh, okay, interesting.
So very nice system.
Yeah. So the system itself. Actually, let me ask the first question, which I'm sure is probably the question you get is, does it filter out COVID?
So what it does is it attaches to all of the things that COVID attaches to, and it filters everything that COVID attaches to, and flu and other viruses such as that. So it's all about filtering the particulates that are in the air, and depending on the facility, depending on what's going on in that facility, also determines the size of particulate that's floating around. But all of these viruses and everything, they attach onto all of that, and that all gets filtered. So can I tell you that it exactly takes care of COVID? No, I can't, unfortunately.
Okay, so we can't just put a bunch of these out in the open and it'll just clear everything out. Right?
It's going to do a fabulous job and make it way better for us to work in. But I think there's probably a legal thing that I have to be careful of here.
Okay, I won't push you too far. So now implementing something like this, I mean, what does the system actually look like? I mean, is it like something like a air conditioner box that you would see, or
it is like? Yeah, it's kind of like a big box on wheels. So it's 4 feet by 4 feet, and it rolls around on casters and it plugs into whatever voltage system is there, and so you just basically lay out your floor plan and say how many square feet or how many cubic feet do I want to clean, and then that determines how many units you might need in a facility.
Gotcha, interesting. Yeah, that was going to be my next question, is like how much square footage does it actually handle? So when you lay out the floor plan and then you put these things in place, I mean, they're just constantly running, or?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Typically people run them constantly, but you can turn them off as well.
Okay.
So if you're only working an 8-hour shift, you can turn it off.
Okay, so you just have it running during the time that you're working, essentially, and creating particles, I guess would be the case, right? Okay. And then how has the reception of this been? I mean, are you seeing that there's a lot of interest because people are concerned more about the things that are floating around them that they can't see?
Yeah, it's a huge amount of interest, and what I love about the product line that we've designed is we've also got ones for the office and everything, because the natural progression is, oh great, we're now cleaning my industrial space, my warehouse, but I've got a bunch of people in the office that are sitting a lot closer together and breathing a lot more of one another's air. So do you have something for that? So we've got a Jade and we've got an Onyx system that help against, they basically handle a smaller volume of air, and do a real nice job. The other bonus is these systems are very, very quiet, and that's, especially in an office, it's very important to have a nice quiet air system.
Yeah, absolutely, no distraction. So now the air quality control products is a great thing, and it's you brought online and now offering as well to help make a better working space for people. And obviously we talked about the ground mounted trailer stand as well, but what other things can people expect from you guys that you're showing at MODEX here?
I feel like after being in a pandemic for 2 years, we've had lots of space and time to innovate. So we've also brought a new dock bumper into play called the Slide Effect Dock Bumper.
Okay.
And a dock bumper's purpose, its sole purpose, is to prevent the trailer from impacting all of the other sensitive equipment and more expensive equipment at the loading dock. But what happens is, as the forklift goes in and out of the truck goes up and down, and it rubs against whatever dock bumper you've got there. So we find that they wear out over time. Yeah. So the slide effect actually moves up and down in a channel with the trailer. So thereby it eliminates that abrasion. We're calling it the cheese grater effect, because really that's what happens to dock bumpers. They get chewed up, and pieces are dropping on the ground because of that abrasion. So we've eliminated the abrasion and basically made a bumper with a lifetime warranty.
Interesting. And so now the lifetime of it is expanding, right? So you're essentially now, you put this bumper in and it's lasting forever, or what's the
well, the lifetime warranty is for as long as you're owning the building and you bought that bumper and put it on it. So absolutely.
All right, very interesting. So those are the new products coming from Ideal Warehouse Innovations, which they have on site here at MODEX as well. And I'll be getting over there a little later to check out the booth and see how some of these things actually work. And I'm most excited, I think, about the ground-mounted trailer stand. I think that's a really genius idea, not only for the safety aspect, but also from, like as you mentioned, the reduction in labor hours that are being wasted there, which I think is pretty interesting, because, I don't think oftentimes when we look at our operation, we don't necessarily think about those types of tasks as cost savings opportunities. But when we look at them and then you do the calculation over time, you're like, wow, this is like a lot of money that I'm spending every year on somebody just going out to put a stand there. So definitely great innovations from you guys, and I see that you've used your 2 years very well to expand upon the innovations and the product offering that you have. So if people are interested in learning more about Ideal Warehouse Innovations and protecting their people, how can they do that?
Go to idealwarehouse.com.
All right, perfect. And we'll put all that information at thenewwarehouse.com so people can find it. So Dirk, thank you once again for coming by the booth.
You bet. Thanks so much.